Arsenal are 2 days away from the biggest night of this season. Wednesday evening in Germany, the Bay Arena, Champions League round of 16, and everything that this club has been building toward under Mikel Arteta is about to face its most serious European test. Welcome to Isaac Arsenal Update. I am Isaac. If you are new here, subscribe right now. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, and stay with me until the very end, because I am giving you the full tactical breakdown, the confirmed predicted lineup, every injury update you need, and everything that is at stake this Wednesday at the Bay Arena. This is not a video you want to skip. Let us get straight into it. Arsenal head to Leverkusen this Wednesday as Premier League leaders. 7 points clear at the top of the table, still alive in the FA Cup after getting the job done against Mansfield at the weekend, still competing for everything this season. This club, under Mikel Arteta, has been building toward a Wednesday night like this for years. The Champions League round of 16, away from home, in Germany, against a Bayer Leverkusen side that just 12 months ago were being spoken about as one of the most dangerous teams on the entire continent. But here is the first thing you need to understand before we even talk about lineups and tactics. Bayer Leverkusen in March 2026 is a fundamentally different club to the one that went unbeaten and won the Bundesliga title under Xabi Alonso. That side has been completely dismantled. And Arsenal, if they approach Wednesday correctly, can absolutely exploit a club that is still finding its feet in a major period of transition. Let me break that down properly. Before we get to the Arsenal lineup, Florian Wirtz is at Liverpool. Gone. Sold last summer for over £100 million. The biggest transfer fee in Bundesliga history at the time. The most creative player in German football, the man who made Leverkusen tick, no longer plays in red and black. He plays in red at Anfield. That is the single biggest loss Leverkusen have suffered. And no club in the world replaces a player of that quality overnight. Jeremy Frimpong is gone. Granit Xhaka is gone. Jonathan Tah is gone. Lucas Radicke is gone. Victor Boniface is on loan at Werder Bremen. And Piero Hincapie, their left back, is now playing for Arsenal. Let that sink in for a moment. Arsenal signed Leverkusen's own left back last summer, and he will be lining up against them this Wednesday. That detail alone tells you how dramatically the balance of power between these two clubs has shifted. Then add the managerial chaos. Xabi Alonso left for Real Madrid. Erik ten Hag came in and lasted 2 Bundesliga games before being dismissed. 2 games. That set a new German football record for the fastest managerial dismissal in the country's top flight. Kasper Hjulmand, the former Denmark national team manager, was then brought in from the 8th of September and has been trying to build something coherent from the rubble ever since. Now, to be fair to Leverkusen and to Hjulmand, they have brought in some genuinely interesting talent. Ibrahim Maza is 20 years old and has real quality in the final third. Christian Kofan at 19 has been a real contributor this season and carries pace to burn. Claudio Echeverri is on loan from Manchester City and brings creativity in tight spaces. Malik Tillman and Jonas Hoffmann provide experience across the attacking unit. Alejandro Grimaldo remains and is still one of the most aggressive and effective attacking left wing-backs in European football. But this is undeniably a team in transition, and the 3-3 draw with Freiburg in their last Bundesliga game before Wednesday confirms something important. Their defensive vulnerabilities are real, and they are being exposed regularly. You do not concede 3 goals at home to Freiburg if your backline is solid, organised, and functioning at the level required for the Champions League knockout rounds. Arteta and his staff will have studied that performance in significant detail over the past few days. Now, I have to be completely straight with you here, because there are some significant absences that Arteta will need to manage very carefully between now and Wednesday evening. Martin Odegaard is not available. Our captain is still working his way back from that knee injury. Norway head coach Ståle Solbakken has suggested a potential return sometime in late March. But for Wednesday in Germany, Odegaard does not travel. This is a genuine loss, because Odegaard's ability to control tempo, play between the lines, and deliver in the biggest European moments is a quality that is genuinely difficult to replicate. Arteta will have a clear system in place to manage that absence, but let us not pretend it does not represent a real challenge for this tie. Ben White is not available. The right-back has been absent for several weeks with an undisclosed injury, and Arteta has provided no firm return timeline. No White on Wednesday. Mikel Merino is not available. The Spaniard underwent surgery on a broken foot and remains a long-term absentee. A return before May is considered highly optimistic. He plays no part in this tie. Now, for the three players who are doubtful and whose fitness over the next 48 hours will directly affect the Wednesday lineup. William Saliba sustained an ankle injury in the win over Chelsea. He missed the Brighton game. He missed the Mansfield trip at the weekend. His inclusion on Wednesday evening is genuinely uncertain going into Monday. Arteta confirmed it is a fresh ankle issue, separate from his previous problem. Saliba is arguably Arsenal's most important outfield player. His reading of the game, his composure under pressure, and his ability to neutralise pace and power at the highest level makes him the kind of player you simply do not want to be without in a two-legged Champions League knockout tie in Germany. Every update between now and Wednesday needs to be monitored closely. Riccardo Calafiori went off at Mansfield with what appeared to be a hamstring concern. He is doubtful for Wednesday. Leandro Trossard also left the Mansfield game early with a hip and calf niggle. Arteta described it as a little niggle, but he too is doubtful for the Bay Arena. Three doubtful players coming out of the same FA Cup rotation game. The squad depth is being stress tested at the most important moment of the season. Let me take you through this lineup position by position, give you the full context, and explain exactly what Arteta is likely to demand from each player at the Bay Arena on Wednesday evening. Goalkeeper, David Raya, no discussion required here. Raya starts on Wednesday. The Spaniard has been outstanding again this season. His distribution continues to function as one of Arsenal's primary attacking triggers, and a clean sheet in Germany would put Arsenal in a near unassailable position ahead of the second leg back at the Emirates the following Tuesday. Raya is experienced in these moments now. He has developed into a genuine top-level European goalkeeper, and Wednesday represents another opportunity to prove it on the biggest stage. Right back, Jurrien Timber. Timber came on as a substitute in the Mansfield game, which means he had meaningful rest going into this week. He is expected to start on Wednesday. The Dutchman offers significant quality going forward down the right side, and with Bukayo Saka operating in front of him, that right channel is going to be one of Arsenal's primary weapons at the Bay Arena. Timber's intelligence, his ability to time his overlapping runs, and his defensive discipline make him the right man for this role on a night of this magnitude. Centre-back, Christian Mosquera. If Saliba cannot pass his fitness assessment before Wednesday, Christian Mosquera partners Gabriel at the heart of the defence. The Spanish centre-back arrived from Valencia last summer for approximately £13 million and has already demonstrated that he belongs at this level. He is calm, composed, good in the air, and he reads danger early. He has filled in convincingly in previous matches when called upon, and if Wednesday demands it again, Arsenal supporters can have genuine confidence in him. This would be his biggest test yet in an Arsenal shirt, and I believe he is ready for it. Centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel was given a deliberate full rest day for the Mansfield tie. Arteta confirmed that publicly, and the decision was made entirely with Wednesday in mind. Gabriel arrives at the Bay Arena fully rested and fully motivated. He brings physicality, aerial dominance, aggression, and leadership to the back line. With Odegaard absent from the squad, Gabriel's voice and presence on the pitch carries even greater weight this week. He organises, he communicates, and he makes opposition strikers think twice. He is exactly what Arsenal need in the centre of their defence on Wednesday evening. Left back, Piero Hincapie. There is something genuinely compelling about this particular selection. Piero Hincapie, signed from Bayer Leverkusen on a loan-to-buy arrangement last summer, will line up against his former club on Wednesday. The Ecuadorian knows that ground, he knows those players, he has trained on that pitch, heard that crowd, and understands exactly how Leverkusen operate. With Calafiori doubtful following the Mansfield setback, Hincapie steps straight back into the starting 11, and he will relish every single minute of this occasion. He provides solid defensive cover, but also the quality and the desire to get forward and support Martinelli on Arsenal's left side. This is a full circle moment, and it adds a fascinating subplot to an already compelling tie. Central midfield. Martin Zubimendi. Zubimendi was rested for Mansfield deliberately. Arteta manages this player's workload carefully because he understands exactly what the Spaniard provides when he is fresh and sharp. Zubimendi is the base of this midfield. He screens the back four with intelligence and positioning. He recycles possession quickly under pressure. He wins second balls, and he gives Declan Rice the freedom to express himself going forward. His composure under pressure on Wednesday will be tested, and because Leverkusen will press and be direct and physical in their approach. I fully expect Zubimendi to rise to every single one of those challenges. Central midfield, Declan Rice. Rice has navigated some minor fitness concerns in recent weeks, but he was rested for Mansfield, and he arrives at this week as close to full fitness as possible. When Declan Rice is functioning at his absolute best, there is arguably no better midfielder operating in England right now. His energy is relentless. His pressing forces errors from opposition midfields, and his runs and goals from deep have become a weapon that top European sides are genuinely struggling to account for. Leverkusen will have done significant homework on him in preparation for Wednesday, but knowing what Rice is going to do and actually stopping him are two entirely different propositions. This is the kind of stage that Declan Rice was built for, and I cannot wait to see him perform on it. Attacking midfield, Eberechi Ease. This is the most compelling individual selection in the entire lineup, and it deserves proper attention. Easy signed from Crystal Palace last summer for approximately £60 million. Arsenal beat Tottenham to his signature. That fact alone speaks volumes about how highly Arteta and the Arsenal hierarchy rated this player. He came off the bench at Mansfield to score the winner, and his confidence going into Wednesday is sky high. Without Odegaard available, the number 10 role belongs to Easy at the Bay Arena. His ability to carry the ball through tight spaces, to shift defenders with a single movement, to operate intelligently between the lines, and to deliver goals and assists from central areas makes him a genuine European threat. Wednesday is his biggest night in an Arsenal shirt so far. This is his stage, and I want to see him own it. Right wing, Bukayo Saka rested for Mansfield, fully prepared for Wednesday. Saka against Alejandro Grimaldo on Wednesday evening is the individual tactical battle I am most excited about in this entire first leg. Grimaldo pushes extraordinarily high as a left wing-back. He is adventurous, he is attack-minded, and he loves to get forward and create. That approach leaves space in behind him, and Saka, with Timber underlapping intelligently beneath him, has both the pace and the footballing intelligence to exploit that space repeatedly throughout the game. Leverkusen know Saka is the danger. Their coaching staff will have dedicated significant preparation time to the question of how to limit him on Wednesday. And yet stopping Bukayo Saka, when he is fully motivated and fully loaded, remains one of European football's most difficult assignments. That right flank is where this first leg could be decided. Striker, Victor Gyokeres. £64 million, Sweden's most complete striker in a generation. 4 goals in 6 Champions League appearances already this season. Gyokeres signed from Sporting Lisbon last summer. And when I tell you that this is the type of striker Arsenal supporters have been waiting for since Robin van Persie left this football club, I do not say that lightly. He holds the ball up with genuine quality. His movement in behind is sharp and intelligent, and his finishing in front of goal is cold-blooded and clinical. He was rested for Mansfield and arrives at this week completely fresh and completely motivated. Tapsoba and Quansah will need to be at their absolute best for the full 90 minutes to contain him on Wednesday, and even then, I fancy him to find a way through. Left wing, Gabriel Martinelli with Trossard doubtful. The Brazilian gets his opportunity to start in the front three at the Bay Arena on Wednesday. Martinelli offers something distinctly different to Trossard. He is raw energy, relentless pressing, and direct running with genuine pace. He will chase every lost cause, he will press Leverkusen's right-sided defenders relentlessly from the first minute, and he will look to cut inside onto his right foot and threaten goal whenever the opportunity presents itself. In a game where Arteta will demand his team press high, win the ball in dangerous areas, and transition quickly, Martinelli is precisely the profile of player you want on that left side. Arsenal will almost certainly line up in their familiar 4-3-3 shape, but with a clear high press and a defined plan to exploit the space Leverkusen vacate behind their aggressive wing-back structure. Ullmann favours a 3-4-3 system or a variant of it. The wing-backs are absolutely central to everything Leverkusen do going forward. Grimaldo on the left pushes incredibly high, and that creates the space behind him that I have already referenced in the context of Saka and Timber. But it also means Martinelli and Hincapie on Arsenal's left side must remain alert and disciplined, because Leverkusen's right wing-back carries a license to get forward aggressively and create overloads in that channel. In the midfield battle, Rice and Zubimendi must control the tempo and prevent Ibrahim Marza and Ezequiel Fernandez from establishing any rhythm. Marza is 20 years old, he is direct, he is creative, and if he is given time and space to run at Arsenal's defensive structure, he will absolutely cause problems on Wednesday. Nullifying Marza early is one of Arsenal's key tactical priorities going into this tie. Gyokeres at the top of Arsenal's press will serve as the first line of their defensive work without the ball. His energy and his ability to press opposition centre-backs into poor decisions is a dimension of his game that is sometimes underappreciated by those who focus purely on his finishing. Arteta values that pressing contribution enormously, and it will be fundamental to how Arsenal look to win the ball back in dangerous positions on Wednesday. At set pieces, Arsenal carry a genuine threat. Gabriel is aerially dominant at both ends of the pitch. Timber and Rice have both contributed goals this season from dead ball situations. And with Edmund Tapsoba carrying 4 yellow cards going into Wednesday, Leverkusen's defenders will be extremely cautious about how aggressively they challenge for aerial balls in their own penalty area. That psychological constraint is another edge Arsenal can look to exploit in the final third. Let me step back for a moment and give you the full context of what is at stake this Wednesday evening. This Arsenal squad cost Arteta approximately £250 million to construct last summer. Gyokeres, Eze, Zubimendi, Mosquera, Norgard, Madueke, Hincapie, Kepa. Every single one of those signings was made with one clear intention: to compete and win at the very highest level. Not just the Premier League, the Champions League, the biggest European nights, on the biggest stages, against the biggest opponents. This is the first time Arsenal have faced Bayer Leverkusen in a competitive fixture since 2002. Over 2 decades have passed between these meetings. And when they finally meet again on Wednesday, the first leg is away from home at the Bay Arena in front of a packed German crowd that will be extraordinarily hostile and intense from the opening whistle. These are the nights that define squads. These are the Wednesday evenings that separate clubs that talk about winning from clubs that actually go out and do it. Arsenal lead the Premier League by 5 points heading into this week. They are genuinely pursuing a possible quadruple. No English club has ever won the quadruple. Arteta has spoken about it carefully in press conferences, refusing to get drawn into that conversation publicly. But this squad has the quality, the depth, and the mentality to compete on every single front simultaneously. Wednesday is the first real test of whether this group can handle the weight of that challenge. Tonight is not a game day. Wednesday is. And that means Tuesday becomes the most important training session of the season so far. Every fitness update, every tactical detail, every decision Arteta makes between now and the Wednesday evening kickoff matters enormously. I want to be completely clear about one more thing before I wrap up. Leverkusen arrive at Wednesday in a seriously depleted state, and Arsenal must take full advantage of that. Mark Flecken, their first-choice goalkeeper signing, is out with a knee injury. Nathan Teller is out with a foot injury. Elias Ben-Seguir, one of their most exciting attacking talents this season, is out with an ankle injury. Loic Bade, a key figure in their defensive structure, is out with a thigh issue. Lucas Vazquez is out with a calf injury. Arthur is out with an ankle injury. Ezequiel Palacios is a long-term absentee with no imminent return date. And Patrick Schick, their most experienced and dangerous striker, carries a muscular concern heading into Wednesday that makes his involvement genuinely uncertain. Then add the suspension risk dimension. Edmund Tapsoba carries 4 yellow cards going into this first leg. Alex Garcia carries 4 yellow cards. Alejandro Grimaldo carries 4 yellow cards. All 3 of them are 1 booking away from missing the second leg back at the Emirates on Tuesday, 17th of March. That hanging threat will influence how aggressively and how freely they are able to defend in certain situations on Wednesday. And that is another area of psychological and tactical leverage that Arsenal can look to exploit intelligently throughout the 90 minutes. You know what I think about when I look at this Arsenal squad right now? I think about all the near misses, the dropped title races, the early European exits, the nights when this club came so close to something significant and then watched it slip away. I lived every single one of those moments as a supporter, and they hurt. But when I look at what Arteta has assembled for Wednesday evening, I feel something different to what I used to feel. Something that has moved beyond hope. Something that feels closer to genuine belief. Real, grounded, evidence-based belief. That this squad is capable of winning the Champions League this season. The goalkeeper is top class. The defense, even carrying the absences it currently is, has leaders and quality at every position. The midfield is dynamic, creative, disciplined, and physically dominant. The forward line with Gyokeres, Saka, Easy, and Martinelli is electric and capable of dismantling any defensive structure in European football on the right day. Yes, Odegaard is not available. Yes, Ben White and Merino are out. Yes, Saliba's fitness between now and Wednesday is the question that every Arsenal supporter needs answered. But this squad, this deep, this well-coached, this battle-hardened over the course of this season does not need everything to align perfectly to get a positive result in Germany on Wednesday evening. Bayer Leverkusen are no longer the Invincibles of 2 years ago. They are a club in genuine transition. A new manager in his first European knockout campaign with this squad, a depleted injury list, a defence that conceded 3 goals at home to Freiburg in their most recent league outing, a group of players still finding their identity under a coach who arrived in emergency circumstances last September. Arsenal go to the Bay Arena on Wednesday with the belief of a squad that has been constructed, developed, and prepared for exactly this kind of occasion. I believe we get a result on Wednesday. I believe Gyokeres is going to make that Leverkusen backline suffer. I believe Saka is going to destroy that space behind Grimaldo all evening. And I believe Arteta sends out a side on Wednesday that is tactically disciplined, physically aggressive, and absolutely devastating when they transition from defence to attack. But I want to hear from you right now. What is your predicted score for Wednesday? Who do you think steps up as Arsenal's key man at the Bay Arena? Drop it in the comments. Get into it. This is the community, and every single opinion matters in the build-up to a game as big as this one. If you have not subscribed yet, do it right now before Wednesday arrives. If this breakdown helped you prepare for the first leg, hit the like button. Turn on notifications because the post-match reaction goes up immediately after that final whistle on Wednesday evening, and you do not want to miss it. I am Isaac. This is Isaac Arsenal Update. Wednesday evening, we go to Germany. Wednesday evening, we take a step toward history. Come on, Arsenal.